put the link in my story right now. Hopefully we don't have echoes. I walked the next 8.
My theme song, bitches! Oh, let's go. Man, it feels good. We are live here on Hot Tag Takes. I am your host, John Brecko. Theme song got cut off by Ruben Rodriguez, the producer. Shout out to the lack of etiquette that we got in this building right now. Jesus Christ. He forgot to even put the camera up. That's how fat he thinks I am. That's ridiculous. No respect.
Look, man, he's big boned. Yeah, that's for sure.
That's right. But anyways, PJ, just to explain his absence, he's out sick. Wish him nothing but the best. He will be back August 8th when we have presidential candidate Anthony Hudson on the show. Very excited to have that man on. But I'm even more excited for this one, I'll be honest, because I'm not a big politic guy.
Ernie Hudson, yeah, big fan of the Ghostbusters, yeah, so I'm looking forward to that as well. Yeah,
That's
Winston,
right,
the forgotten Ghostbuster. I'm just putting up a link real quick to this live chat, so I'm taking a screenshot. Give me 1 second. Yeah, Clock of Madness runs down. Where's this Ruben character?
This Ruben character, he's over behind the camera. He's scared to show his face to you.
Oh, wow, man. Freak out. I thought he was the co-host.
You'll snap him like a... You would snap him like a Slim Jim, yeah.
Oh, very good. Okay, here, let me just put this link in right now.
But very, very excited to have this man on. We're going to talk about cons. We are going to talk about wrestling. We're going to talk about cons that aren't comic book and wrestling related, probably, because they're involved in wrestling. But anyways, we have got Aaron Macho Man here on the show. Let's go.
Well, man, freak out. Yeah, good to be here.
I'm ready to drop an elbow. How are you, man? What's up?
Very good, very good. Yeah, I'll drop the voice so I can save it. I'm good, man. I'm just, I'm a teacher is my main thing, so I'm enjoying myself in the summer, just trying to stay creative and relax.
Right. 100%. Yo, can I tell you something that I've actually never shared, probably with anybody before? And it's when
swear on the Slim Jim, yeah.
It was when we had a conversation. You told me you were a teacher, right? So. Here's the thing. I teach swim lessons for a living. I'm a swim instructor. We had this conversation. You know, here's the thing. I'm never going to be the one to count that as a teacher. And you telling me that counts, that gave me all the confidence in the world. And I wanted to let you know that. I wanted to make a point to let you know that since we brought that up. So thank you, man. I appreciate you saying that.
We're good. Yeah.
I don't give a shit what anybody else says, but if a teacher tells me that counts, that means something, bro.
Well, yeah, it's true. A very important skill to have. You gotta know how to swim. Yeah. Because,
man.
When you're on Hulkamania cruise line, it might sink and you gotta survive. Yeah. But I appreciate you, and yeah, man, that is as much as a teacher can get. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, but
join the club.
Bro, because you're in a classroom 8 hours a day. I don't know if I could do 20 of those motherfuckers at once, bro. I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, it definitely takes some experience, you know. That's becoming an education chat. The last 2 years, I had my most success with the classroom because I didn't try to act like a hard ass from day one and be like, you know, just no emotion, like they say. You know, don't smile till Christmas. It's not true at all. So the last 2 years, from day one, I was stern, I was strict, I had my procedures, my rules, my routines, but I told them about myself. You know, I had pictures up in the room of me dressed as Macho Man, of me traveling. I tell them personal stories. So, you know, they really relate to that. They dig that I'm actually
I feel that. You know, you got to. It's hard, too, on the other side of that because, you know, you see kids for like a half hour, you know, at a time.
Right.
You know. And I want to say stuff like that, but you don't always have the time to in that situation.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, it's tough, man. But
it's tough, and it's finding that middle balance too, because you can't be, you know.
No,
I'm not your friend. Yeah, don't call me bro. Yeah, your bro ain't your friend. But so you got to find a middle balance. My first couple of years, I was in a pretty bad area teaching. And I had no idea what I was doing, so it was intimidating. So I was super nice and super cool. Everybody give me the pound in the hallway, but you know I had no control or anything. That was just really to.
Oh man, that's a shame.
Pound now, but
yeah, I feel that. But I gotta ask you, cause here's the thing. I met you through Mike Raimondi, Dusty Rhodes
Oh yeah,
impersonator.
Dusty, American Dreamer, huh?
Awesome dude. You know,
Very much
goes
so.
back with WrestleMania 6 to you. But
That's right.
here's the thing. I found out about his story about how he got into being Dusty back when Dusty was still alive. You know, Dusty gave him the vote of confidence, you know, to
Awesome.
really just pursue being that character. But, you know, I really don't know how you got into this. How you decided to, you know, be Macho Man, snap into a Slim Jim, drop elbows. I don't know any of this.
Well, that's why we're here.
Even though I've seen you with a lot of Seth Rollinses lately,
That's
I've
true. I
noticed
know
that
all.
it's been
I think
Seth
I know.
Rollins everywhere. Been a lot more drip than I'm used to seeing with the Macho Man.
I
So,
had to put the definition out there because my wife thought that that was slang for like syphilis or something. So yeah,
what drip?
drip. Yeah,
Oh
I didn't
God,
hear it until I heard a kid say it in school. That's where I learned my slang. But yeah, Mike, who does Dusty Rhodes cosplay, awesome guy. He actually inspired me to do this. He was one of the several people, one of the main ones that did.
yeah,
Um, so I moved to New York City a year and a half ago.
okay,
And I thought of an idea one day. I'm like, oh, I got a great parody because I love Weird Al.
right,
So it's like Macho Man. It's like Macho Man, but it's all green. He has a matcha tea swirl print, right? Everything's green. Everything is a tea pun. Like, yeah, the tea always rises to the top, you know, stuff like that.
right,
So I did that. I started going to wrestling shows as Macho Man. I didn't film any skits. I just did Macho Man impressions everywhere I went. It wasn't very good. So did that for a couple more months. I went to a wrestling pay per view, and a friend of a friend saw my pictures and said, "Wow, Moon Knight is really popular right now, and I want to film a Macho Man version of that. Would your friend be down?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'd be down." And he's like, "I'll pay you, you know, your food, whatever." I'm like, "Cool." So I did it. Didn't think much of it. It was fun.
yeah,
Saw the pictures, saw the video, and I was like, "Whoa, man! I kind of look like Macho Man, and this is so much fun." So I asked my wife to design a costume for Brooklyn Comic Con. It was like a few
okay,
weeks from, and then I had her design another one. So I went to that. Didn't know anybody, not a single person. So I didn't know anybody at these wrestling shows. Didn't know anybody at these cosplay conventions or events. So I went in there completely by myself, and I just wilded out and was Macho Man. I walked around, cut promos. I tried to remember whatever I could in my brain from his phrases. It
right,
wasn't a big library back then. Now it's pretty extensive.
yeah,
So yeah, I kept doing that, and I kept going to wrestling shows, conventions, anywhere I could find, like cosplay parties in the city. Um, so my wife started designing more and more costumes for me. She actually has a background in wardrobe and costume design. Out in, can I say where? In
yeah,
Vegas? Okay, Cirque du Soleil. Yeah, she was at Cirque du Soleil for several years, and now she's on Broadway. So,
okay,
and I pay her very well.
I
Let's
bet,
just put that out there. She's the best. So yeah, then I did New York Comic Con, and I really started stepping it up, and I started writing sketch ideas. So I went to Italy on a trip, and I carried my Macho Man bandana in my fanny pack the entire time. So I see the Coliseum, and I'm like, oh yeah, definitely cutting a promo about Emperor Jack Tunney, and you know the
yeah.
Macho Man is the cream of the Coliseum. Yeah. So from there, it kind of took off, you know.
Oh man, that's crazy though. So you, basically, when you started, you were just looking for like any place that it
Yes.
just made sense for you to just wear the
Yeah.
Macho Man outfit.
And also, I had just moved to New York City, and all my friends had moved away. I didn't really have any close friends here, so I made a bunch. But real Mike story. So I went to AEW, I think it was New Jersey, and I dressed up as Macho Man with the greens. First time I
Hold
ever
on,
did it.
hold on, hold on. I just want to ask what show it was.
This was, I think it was the first show at the Prudential Center.
Oh, that's the Prudential Center.
No,
Okay,
no, no,
because
I'm wrong. It was Belmont in Long Island. That's the one it
I
was.
just wanted to make sure like it wasn't like the show I was at. But you know, now that I'm thinking about it, it was early 2022. This was
Right.
down in AC.
Okay, yeah,
So
not yet. So the first, I went to Grand Slam and I wore all Bam Bam Bigelow stuff. And then I took a
okay,
picture with the Macho Man. So I like to joke that Macho Man like infected me with the madness, you know? And
yeah,
that's what got madness. So I saw Mike as Dusty going around, holding up signs, walking around, having the time of his life. We took a picture, we chatted for a minute, and then we kept in touch ever since. Like I've seen him at other shows. And then we collaborated and decided to film some stuff. He was like, "Hey, let's go to this show together in Jersey, and it'd be funny if we pretended that we were hitchhiking." And at the
yeah.
time, I didn't have many skits; it was just all improvised stuff. And
Did you
someone
guys
happened
ever make it to WrestleMania? Because that's where y'all were going.
next year. So we're gonna continue our road trip stuff this Saturday. We're gonna film some more stuff with me, him, and Chris, who plays the Iron Sheik. So stay
Oh
tuned.
man.
WrestleMania next year. I think we might be roommates, so we got a lot of stuff. So odd couple.
Yeah, because WrestleMania is in Philly. WrestleMania 40.
Oh yeah,
It's a
yeah.
big
That's my
WrestleMania
40th
for that.
birthday, too.
Oh, dude, how excited are you to wrestle for WrestleMania to be right around the corner?
So excited, man. I didn't expect tickets to go on sale so soon, but I got to make some moves,
They're on sale now?
No, on July 18th. Now I work for WWE. Yeah, July 18th. Don't be late. You don't miss
Oh,
it.
that's insane.
Yeah.
Dude, the way, because here's the thing, too. The way WWE's been selling right now, just insane. Like, those tickets are going to go on sale. They're going to go back off sale. People are going to buy them for when they go back on sale, when they're double, triple the price, and then they're still going to sell out after that.
Right.
Like, the way they've been selling right now is insanity. But
yeah, it's been popular.
Like, here's what blows my mind. With the whole, with all of it right now, the Bloodline storyline, Judgment Day's killing it. Dominic Mysterio's arguably the best heel in all of wrestling right now.
He really is, man. Really is.
It's incredible. But there's so much good stuff going on right now that, in the best way possible, I have no idea what WrestleMania 40 is going to look like.
Oh, no idea. I'm thinking the main event's going to be the same as last year, right?
You think
Cody
so?
And Roman. I think so. It's the no-brainer. I could be wrong. But,
I feel like that's what it should look like.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I feel like the back-to-back Royal Rumble wins should happen because everybody's Royal Rumble wins nowadays are so spread apart.
They are.
We're so used to seeing people win 2 Royal Rumbles.
Austin 2 in a row.
That if we see somebody win back-to-back, you're just going to get so much of that emotional, touch in that.
I just want to win a Royal Rumble pool finally. Every year I get
oh my God.
Don't get Brock Lesnar, so I lose.
Wait, you didn't think Cody was going to win this year?
No, I did, and he tweeted out number 3, so I had 3 in the pool, and I'm like, oh, I'm winning Cody Rhodes, and he came out as like, I don't know, 2 or something. Yeah, so
he forgot to add that 0 on you.
Forgot to add it. I didn't like that going on at the beginning of the show either. Less of a surprise and less mystique,
You know what it is? I feel like he just built it up on you just to kind of let you down when number 3 came out.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? I feel like that was almost a personal attack. Like you're getting too close with Mike, and I don't think Cody likes it. Cody's getting very defensive.
3. LA Knight could win also, man. He's super popular.
You think he'll win the Rumble?
Eventually, maybe not this year. Maybe the year after.
I was about to say I don't know about that one. I don't know. I wanted him to win Money in the Bank.
I was happy about Nakamura winning the Rumble. That was awesome.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I freaked out with that.
That's throwbacks, man.
Yeah.
Then he started kicking people in the dick.
Yeah, what was up with that? His new gimmick was the low blow, man.
Just unnecessary.
Yeah. The heel. You don't always need.
I feel like that was WWE speaking to me. They did something that I thought was very great, and then just kicked me in the dick.
Watch this, get ready for disappointment. Yeah. They say Vince is booking the main event. I'm not sure. I don't have cable, so I watch clips of Raw and SmackDown.
You want to know something? I really don't see it though. Like I feel like the storylines have just carried themselves so well that you kind of don't really see his influence in there like you used to.
It's true. Maybe he took a step back and he saw how great things were going and how the crowd was loving, and he stepped back. It's hard to believe, but
right.
Like I freaked out and sold all of my WWE stock the morning after those Saudi rumors. I was like, I want no part of this, and that wasn't true. So,
but dude, think about all the crazy stuff that's happened this year. You think he's coming in after he sells the company. WrestleMania 39 hits record numbers, sells out 2 nights in a row, turns it over like a comedy club in New York City.
Yeah. And the whole Sami Zayn angle was amazing.
Oh my God!
Minute Mania, the tag titles, that was unreal.
I still think he should have won the title.
Yeah, I think so too. Cool.
I'm still mad over that.
It would be cool if they started having people challenge Roman for an individual title, so there's an actual chance that he could lose.
Yeah, man.
I
I
don't like it being
mean,
so predictable.
do you think there's a chance he loses a SummerSlam though?
Uh, if it's for one belt, yes. If it's for both belts, I don't see it.
But here's the thing. I feel like they kind of combined the new belts with the old belt, and he's just having Paul Heyman carry the extra
I
hardware.
don't understand.
So he's
Yeah,
showing. Yeah, he's just showing off now.
right. Three belts. Oh, so whatever match there is gonna be for that one gold belt. It's you get all three, right? Is that the idea?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, like the one gold belt.
Okay, well, they gotta pick up their make up their minds. Yeah, I like that Snoop Dogg green belt the best. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's a beautiful belt.
Snoop Dogg was the MVP of WrestleMania. Let me just say that now, because
Yeah, that's right.
you know what? It damn sure wasn't Shane McMahon.
Oh no, no, it wasn't. That
Not
was
at
great.
all.
Yeah.
I hope he's doing well after that, because that did not look pretty.
He's got a history of his family just tearing their quads. They genetically they have terrible quads.
I don't know what it is.
They're skipping
Like
leg extensions, I
at least he
guess.
was running down the ring.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And walking.
Like at least he didn't like walk in, try to get in the ring, and then just sit there like this giant child.
Yeah. So who's that other chair for? Is that for me? Or a
That other
special guest?
chair was supposed to be for PJ, but he's actually out today.
Oh yeah, PJ.
Yeah, PJ
Going but unforgotten. You're missed. Yeah.
PJ didn't make it today.
Okay.
He'd make a very good Viking type of character. He'd be a I feel I feel like me and him should cosplay as the Viking Raiders.
That would be awesome, man. Hey, the more the merrier. Go to New York Comic Con, dude. Come to '90s
Yeah, man.
Wrestling Con in September. That's gonna be
I
great.
I got to come to some con at some point. 100%.
Yes, and that's in New Jersey. That's in your backyard, man. Just
Oh yeah.
plug it in for free.
So I have to ask this. Like this is an honest question. If I were to cosplay, say as one particular wrestler, right? Who would you see me cosplaying as? I'm curious.
You'd make a badass Bam Bam Bigelow if you can get a bald cap and put on some tattoos.
I had a feeling he was gonna say that.
Yeah, they have all the chalk line stuff. I always wanted to have a Bam Bam Bigelow friend, man.
Because if I'm doing this right, if I'm doing this, I'm doing it right. I'm shaving the head and I'm drawing the flames on there.
You could put a bunch of temporary flame tattoos on there. As
Oh
well.
yeah.
Let's see who else.
It's got to be temporary.
Yeah, yeah. People ask me that all the time, and I can never think of it. It's like one of those things where a nickname just comes to you. You're like, oh yeah, this guy, but you can't be like, hey, give me a nickname. I got it, man. It's one of those things.
That'd be one of those characters, though. I'd have to learn the vocabulary because I don't think I know any Bam Bam.
I had to do a lot of homework for Macho Man. I've been a big fan for a while, but not the super fan that I am as an adult. So I spent many hours watching old interviews and writing down different hand gestures and things he says, looking around.
You got the
slow it down.
I gotta tell you, you got the hand gestures down.
Yeah, very good. I also try to learn from other Macho Men. I have a super group chat on Instagram of every Macho Man cosplayer that is on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we trade ideas for costumes, and hey, anybody got a picture of the back of this jacket he wore one time? Yeah, it's great. So people say, "What's it like running to other Macho Men? Is it adversarial?" No, I love it, man. It's a great opportunity to film some cool content.
I mean, I gotta tell you though, I feel like there's nothing like one Seth Rollins running into another Seth Rollins from what I've seen.
I know 3 of them. Yeah, I got a third one.
All those drip offs.
Yeah, I might be with all 3 of them at WrestleMania. We'll see.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot. Yeah, yeah.
Greatest drip off of all time.
That dance floor video got at least 3.5 million views. Insane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, and not even just my page, but like Twitter was gigantic. And I'd be like, "Hey, I shot that video," and one guy even cut me out at the end of the video. Come on. But the amount of people that thought that was actually Seth Rollins was mind blowing.
Yeah, I mean, some of those cosplays are phenomenal.
That's my buddy Nelson. He does it great. He's gonna be out with us on Saturday night at Pianos in NYC for a grunge new metal concert that we're gonna do a wrestling segment. Yeah.
I like it 100%. So, how did you become a wrestling fan in the first place? Because, I probably have like the worst origin story out of anybody
Really?
that I've ever heard. So the first match I remember is Rob Van Dam. I was 11 years old at the time, so I was easily fooled. It was Rob Van Dam versus The Big Show on Tuesday night Sci-Fi
Um,
ECW. This was
oh,
2006.
the worst kind of ECW.
Oh my God.
No.
Yeah, so I'm watching, this guy throwing karate kicks trying to take down this 500-pound giant, and they're just going back and forth, back and forth, you know. Then you see Paul Heyman come out at the end of that, you know. You see Big Show pin him, trash gets thrown everywhere, And when you're 11 years old, you're like, people hate this guy. This guy's an asshole. And it's probably the weirdest match that you could possibly get hooked to wrestling on.
Yeah, that's very random.
Yeah, no, it was Tuesday night ECW where I just happened to be up.
But I get it.
Because it
That's
was the
like
summer.
David Goliath. RVD is one of my favorite wrestlers, in my top 4 for sure.
Oh my God, yeah,
Had to
no.
happen sooner or later, yeah.
But how
Um,
did you become a wrestling fan, man?
so I grew up in Poughkeepsie, which
hmm
is famous for trivia. You know which arena that is?
One more time.
What's the famous arena in Poughkeepsie, New York?
In Poughkeepsie. Ah,
It's an M.
putting me on the spot.
Yeah, I only know because I'm from
Putting
there.
me on the spot, trying to get me to share knowledge.
Sorry about that. That was unfair. This is
Ah,
Mid Hudson Civic Center. So they
okay,
had Monday Night Raw in the early '90s, mid '90s, every couple of months, but I never went. I didn't think my
okay,
parents would take me. Don't know why. I never asked. But years, I never wasn't really into it that much. I had WF magazine. I remember seeing an article where it was all these pictures of Big Boss Man after Nails like beat the crap out of him. Prison guard that escaped to get his revenge. Great storylines. He had all his like black and blues and welts. I was like, oh my god, this guy Nails is coming to kill me. Yeah, Nails and Earthquake from the arcade game. Yeah, I gotta watch
oh
out.
man,
So years later, I was at a sleepover party and they were watching WrestleMania. I believe it was '98. Yeah, it was '98, where it was Stone Cold versus HBK.
okay,
Mike Tyson as special enforcer. And my friends were so into it. That was its heyday for my generation when everybody was into wrestling. It was like the cool thing. So I
yeah.
loved it. I thought it was amazing. I fell in love with Ken Shamrock and The Rock. Started watching Monday Night Raw. I literally thought Vince McMahon was Michael Buffer, the Let's Get Ready to Rumble guy. I didn't know there was, took a couple weeks to get that. Like, that guy runs WWF? Like, what?
Michael
Um,
Buffer on steroids. I mean, I
yeah.
guess.
So we got really into the Attitude Era. We were
When did
back.
Michael Buffer get big?
Yeah, Michael Buffer. Yeah,
Buffer got Buffer. What's that about?
he flexes every time he does it. Yeah.
Yeah, like
So we started backyard wrestling, and then we started watching Nitro, and then ECW, and that was our thing,
yeah,
man. ECW would come to Poughkeepsie
the
every few
better
months.
ECW.
Yeah, the good one, '98, Hardcore Heaven, RVD versus Jerry Lynn,
Oh
Balls
yeah.
Mahoney, the Dudleys, even Psycho Sid. We got to see Scott Hall come out, which is the loudest pop I ever heard in my
Ooh.
life.
Yeah, no, I can
Crazy.
imagine.
So yeah, we're really into that. We would sit front row, and a friend of mine, Hale Collins, he's in the Now with NWA. Shout out to him. We started going to
Okay.
wrestling school, and I was still backyard wrestling, and we went for a few months to Johnny Rod's over in Brooklyn. ECW got bought out, went bankrupt. I lost all
Right.
my interest in wrestling as I went to college. Took a break till 2014. Started watching again Royal Rumble, where Daniel Bryan got eliminated right away, and I think Batista won. So since then, I've been hardcore into
I
wrestling again.
mean, I don't know. That might rival the match I started on. That's the match that got you back.
Yeah. I think Austin and HBK was the one. Yeah, that was the big
Well,
one.
that's a pretty
Um,
that's a pretty good one to start. The one to
I
get you
did
back though, I'm questioning a little bit.
I did cosplay at ECW Hardcore Heaven 1999.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was Bubba Ray Dudley. It was a really poor attempt. I had a painted on goatee, flannel shirt with like tie underneath, and glasses with tape. And the kids behind me kept chanting "crappy mustache," and I was chanting with them. They were chanting it at me. I didn't realize till the end.
Oh my God, that's great. All you had to do, honestly, when you were there, was just go, "What's up?"
Yeah, and that year was when we went to SummerSlam '98, and my mom took me and my friends. We wore DX shirts. We're doing this all the time. I was
Oh,
doing
that's
it for a while.
just in front of your mom. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and that was Stone Cold defending against Undertaker.
Yeah,
Highway to
I
Hell.
remember
Yeah,
that one.
Highway to Hell. That was awesome too.
Yeah,
So
man.
I'm lucky to have seen a few awesome pay-per-views at MSG and Minutes and Civic Center in Poughkeepsie.
So I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine that's watching the show right now, Pat Russell. He made a very big deal when we were talking about RVD. So apparently he likes RVD.
Oh, he's the best, dude. He's so
He's
good.
got a body closer to the big shows, but
No,
I guess he likes it when the guys throw karate kicks too. So shout out to Pat Russell.
Shout out to Pat Russell. Shout out to RVD. Yeah, RVD.
Pat Russell's a good man. He's another guy who would make a great Bam Bam Bigelow. He's already bald too.
Bring him on, man. All the legends. We want to see it. 90s Wrestling Con. Bring them out. I know a lot of people going in September that are dressing up.
Yeah, man.
Even like cosplayers that focus on Marvel and superheroes, they're all doing wrestling.
Yeah. So I actually want to take a little bit of a step back. So you said you were in wrestling school.
Yes.
You kind of just sprinkled that in there and almost kind of glossed over that.
I have a lot. So slow me down and pause me. Yeah, sorry about that. A little bit.
Nah, you're good. Go ahead.
So we were so obsessed with wrestling that we were backyard wrestling every Saturday. We had costumes. I was super particular. Like if you couldn't use an entrance theme that someone used in ECW,
right.
You couldn't, call your move this. If someone uses it, you can't rip off this person's name. So we had original ideas. I'm over here failing classes in study hall, writing, match cards for every Saturday. So we're stealing tables from the mall, putting it in this kid's SUV. Rainbow, yeah, we're out of business. That's fine. Okay. So we're going through tables. We actually have a big crowd from 4 high schools, I think it was. So I'm kind of like the Vince McMahon of backyard wrestling. So I ran mine in Spackenkill, the town of Poughkeepsie, and we found out about another Fed that was there that did like a submission one. So it was more like grappling submission. Yeah. And they did a show with us, and we're like, wow, this is so much more fun planning it out. So we combined with them, and then we combined with another one, and then one in Pleasant Valley, and one in Wappingers. And as soon as we knew it, we had guys from maybe 4 or 5 different high schools in this wrestling Fed called Top League Wrestling, where we had Top League Wrestling. We do the fingers, you got to do the voice. Yeah,
not all elite, the top elite.
The Top League Wrestling. Oh yeah. So every Saturday, we finish up the show, and I would edit the videos on my computer, and we put out a highlight reel with a popular rock song. It was life. So at the same time, we wanted to be wrestlers because we had the dedication, we had the heart, and we're like, we could beat ECW for sure. Right. And I started training with my buddy Hale. He stuck with it. I didn't keep going. We trained for a few months, did bumps, ran the ropes, arm drags, stuff like that. Didn't get that far. But I did bump every time I had a little bit too much to drink. I would be like falling on the ground. Like, yeah, check this out. Stupid move. But yeah, that was that. I went away to college. But I did wrestling school. I commuted from Poughkeepsie all the way to Brooklyn a few times a week. I think it was the summer before college or the one right before that, my junior year of high school.
Okay.
When I was there, Prince Nana was there. He's now manager on AEW. Matt Stryker, he had a teacher gimmick. He was all sick days, wrestled in Japan.
That's a big deal.
Who else? The Musketeer, a whole bunch of dudes. Tim Arson, who was the zombie, and a bunch of other characters in ECW. That was on Sci-Fi. It was a good group for sure.
Okay, I can imagine.
I think about going back sometimes because I live in the city. I would for a little bit, but I also don't. I'm happy that I don't have any injuries.
Right, of course.
Wrestling buddies who are kicking ass and taking names.
No, I'm sure. So what made you stop though? Because you seemed like you were really set on doing this, right? Especially because you were doing that whole commute. So what was it? What was it that stopped you?
Something so small. ECW going bankrupt. Once that was no more,
you just lost interest.
That was it. Lost interest. Pretty much lost interest on wrestling.
So you wanted to be at ECW. That was where you wanted to go.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, for sure. We loved ECW. That was the crowd involvement, the energy, small venues. It was so much fun. We tried to emulate them so much. We even put on our website. We dissed this other Fed that was called HCW and they were our rival. They were our rival, and they copied everybody's names for ECW, all the moves and everything. So we put out an ad on our website, a banner that's why HCW sucks. They're so unoriginal and da da da. And but yeah, once ECW closed, I lost my interest, and then I went off to college that summer. Most people didn't watch wrestling. We're drinking and partying and trying to not fail out of school.
Right.
And we had a glimpse of wrestling again in 2005. Buddy of mine, Ray,
Right.
took me. He had tickets to ECW One Night Stand, which is the Hammerstein
Yeah.
Ballroom.
Yep.
Amazing, the best wrestling show I've ever seen in my life. I think that night was so amazing. We sat in the front row balcony, super crazy, to the moonsault into the crowd right in front of us. You see us on the video. Sitting across from us in the balcony was all the
Oh.
WWE heels, all the hacks like JBL,
Oh, that was across from you guys?
Kurt Angle. Yeah, the whole time.
Oh.
We gave the middle finger the entire time. We were like, "F you! You're not ECW. Get the hell out of there! What are you doing here?"
And
We were
you meant it with that ECW crowd because you get
yeah, wrestling
lost
was
in that.
real. That night, wrestling was so real. The loudest pop I ever heard next to Scott Hall showing up at ECW was Stone Cold showing up at ECW that night. One
Oh
night
my
stand.
god.
It was insane. He came
Yeah,
out.
no, everybody. That's what everybody forgot. Stone Cold was an ECW for a little
Yep,
bit
yep. And the night
before he
before, we went to
left.
Philly. We saw ECW Hardcore Homecoming, so really it came back. And then I gave wrestling a chance again when they brought ECW back, and I lasted maybe 2 episodes.
Oh
It's
my
like
god. Yeah, no, you couldn't let that trash on Sci-Fi go.
no, I remember yelling to Tommy Dreamer at the Civic Center when SmackDown went on tour with ECW. He just got beat up by the Big Show or someone that's like so not ECW. So Dreamer's lying in the ring, and I go, Tommy, what the F is this? This isn't ECW. What is this shit? And he looks at me and he goes, I know. And every time I run into him every few years, I mention that, and he's like, yeah, I remember that.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, so I've been to a
I
lot of
can't
wrestling.
believe he lasted as long as he did.
I know. Yeah,
He stayed with that for years.
yeah,
Like
and he
almost
never. I
till it
don't
was
think
done.
right. I don't think he ever had a major injury either. And he was at every reunion they had.
Like he never had a major injury like back then either.
Back then, I don't think so. When you think of wrestlers
Wow.
who had very few major injuries, it's going to be Tommy Dreamer, Kane, and Chris Jericho. Those three have been pretty lucky or played it safe enough to not injure themselves.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. I do have some random wrestling
But
knowledge. Yeah,
here's the thing. I'm more amazed with it with Tommy Dreamer because of everything that ECW wrestlers put themselves through. And
that and
that includes Tommy Dreamer.
they were running the show. Like Tommy Dreamer was like mailing out like VHS tapes to people and catalogs and stuff. So they were
Oh
like
yeah.
very worried stuff behind the scenes too.
They didn't call that man the innovator of violence for nothing.
That's true, man.
But
And
yo, I'm with you on the 2005 ECW.
yeah.
Just had so much good stuff. It
Yep.
had
And as a backyard wrestler and as training for a pro wrestler, Tommy Dreamer I really looked up to because he wasn't like a super cut, like roided up, gigantic dude. He was like, somebody I could relate to.
yeah, no, it had good wrestling, good
Yeah.
stories. Tommy Dreamer went through a flaming table that night.
He did. That was quite amazing.
There was also who took the cheese grater? Was that Tommy?
That might have been Bubba Ray Dudley.
Because somebody got a cheese grater to the face.
Yeah, to the face. The Sandman entrance was awesome too. Unreal.
That's always awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. You have to have the music. On Peacock, man, WWE Network, it's hard to watch ECW without the music. It's really cheesy.
They don't have the music on there?
No, dude, no way. They have like generic stuff. Like New Jack doesn't come out to Natural Born Killers. He comes out to like like some generic rap you
Oh
hear in a video
god.
game. You can pirate them. I so I have some versions with the music. And it's awesome.
I can't even keep a straight face at the thought.
Yeah,
Like imagine New Jack just coming out to Hollywood Hogan.
pretty much, man. And fun fact: the NWO theme is actually all different samples of different Hendrix songs.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, which Hollywood theme is awesome.
Oh man. But so when you started emulating ECW wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
So, because the only reason why I'm asking this is because I remember when, I was in high school, and this is just something I did one time, but, me, it was about 4 or 5 of us. We were trying to do different wrestling moves. Friend of mine had the trampoline, so we were doing suplexes, slams, DDTs. I remember one of those suplexes caught me on a high angle.
No,
And I think that was like the last move I took because I
You
landed
must
like
be.
right on the back of my neck. And I was just like, nope.
now we're
that.
good, right? Yeah, our parents all hated it.
I'm
We had
sure.
like 3 arenas, right? and they were just on Saturdays. So one of our friends' dad was a very devout Muslim at the time. So whenever his dad went to the mosque and the temple for like several hours, he'd be like, "All right, guys, come over." And we would wrestle in his backyard. And we emulated ECW by using tables that we saw from the mall, picking up giant orange parking cones, stealing shopping carts, all sorts of stuff. Because we loved how New Jack would come out and just have things rigged and like hit someone with a license plate or a VCR. So we took a VCR, we put flour in it. So we have a clip hitting someone with the VCR and a bunch of flour pops out. It's on YouTube. It's called TLW Backyard Wrestling. We did pretty awesome stuff.
You gotta love the flowers. Gotta love hitting somebody with flowers.
You got it. It was amazing. Flower popping out and exploding.
So,
yeah.
So
So
I got something from somebody. There's a comment from somebody. I wonder if he remembers Al Snow walking around with the mannequin head.
Amazing. Al Snow was one of my favorites. Yeah. What does everybody want? I've recently watched his entrance in ECW, and the crowd was absolutely insane on fire with their own mannequin heads and foam heads. His daughter just followed me on Instagram like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, who's this person? Right, so I'm looking, and I see someone at the log flume in Disney, and a guy looks just like Al Snow, and I'm like, is that him? And I go, is your father Al Snow? And she's like, oh yeah, absolutely, he is. I'm like, oh my god.
Wow, cool.
I'm a big fan of him. I'm hoping he comes out to 90s Wrestling Con. Al Snow, if you're listening.
I mean, probably.
Oh yeah, a lot of my favorites. Dan B. Severn, Ken Shamrock. I'd love to see Gangrel.
Yeah, man, gotta love it. So, what wrestlers have you had the chance to meet from doing all the Macho Man stuff, and what wrestlers do you still want to meet?
From doing the Macho Man stuff. Okay, so I had wrestlers like comment lately. Like Jay Lethal started following me, which I thought was amazing.
Ooh.
Yeah, because he does a great Macho Man impression. Who I met in person.
Also does a great Ric Flair impression.
He does. Amazing Ric Flair impression.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all? Not that pisshead Jay Lethal.
Woo!
Woo!
Before I did this, I met Macho Man, which is like the biggest one.
Whoa.
And that's not what you asked, but Nitro 99 in Vegas, checking into his hotel room. So I have a photo with him the one time I met him. Who have I met as Macho Man? At 80s Wrestling Con, I met Tugboat, Fred Upman, the Shockmaster. Yeah. I'm like forgetting. Eddie Kingston. Yeah, Eddie Kingston was awesome to meet.
What was this?
Yeah, he was badass.
Oh, you met him recently?
When I met Eddie Kingston I think it was last summer.
Okay.
We both take a picture and we start shaking hands. He's like, what are we doing? Yeah, because I stay in character. He's like, I don't know. And it's funny, so many wrestlers start doing the Macho Man voice just because I'm doing it. It's like contagious. So we did the handshake. He's laughing his ass off. So I met him. Who else? Matt Cardona a couple of times. He's awesome.
I can imagine.
Always reinventing himself just as much as maybe even as much as Chris Jericho.
He's got a lot of great action figures. Matt Cardona.
He really does. Yeah, they're not dumb. Yeah. Thunder Rosa. She was super nice.
Cool.
Shout out to the Last Match musical. They had a show. I saw them. And it was an awesome show. That's where I met Matt Cardona and Thunder Rosa. Bull James, great guy. Alpha Jr., also great guy. Maybe we'll see him in the next Bloodline, huh?
You might as well.
Yeah. So I'm looking to meet more. I was going to meet Lanny Poffo, Macho Man's brother, and he tragically died the day before the meet and greet.
What? Oh my!
I hit hard. Yeah, I know. Crazy. Back in February.
Yeah. God rest his soul, man.
I met Bret Hart really quick. At 80s Con, he just got there. He was like walking around, just looking at the tables. And in my head, I was like, I'm gonna go up to him and be like, if it wasn't for the Hitman Hart, Hollywood Hogan wouldn't have my WCW NWO Wolfpack Championship. Yeah. But I'm like, he doesn't want to. Like, Bret Hart doesn't need to hear this shit. I just say, oh, Bret Hart, yeah, good to see you. And he's like, hey, Macho. So that was that.
All right.
There's a few.
I was kind of hoping you were just like thinking about it, and then you just went for it anyway.
I know, man. Yeah.
Like looking back at it, I feel like the reaction you would have got from Bret Hart is he would have just shook his head and be like, "Good to see you, Macho."
Yeah.
Which which if I were you, I would have been totally fine with that.
I know. I felt so bad. He's like with his family.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough.
In '99 when I saw Nitro, I was 15 in Vegas. I prank called hotel rooms of Ric Flair and Sting. Those are the two.
Nice.
Stories aren't that great, but all you had to do was know the person's real name and then call the front desk. So I said, "Can you please connect me to Ric Flair?" And they're like, "Sure." And this guy was like, "Hello, hello!" He's like shouting, and then I call. I'm like, "Can you please connect me to Steve Borden, which is Sting?" And he's like, "Hello," and I go, "Is this Sting?" He's like, "Who is this?" And then he shortly hung up after that.
I mean, I feel like Ric Flair was the more fun one.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's my lame claim to fame. So I'm looking to meet some more. Definitely when I go to '90s wrestling con, '80s con. Sergeant Slaughter, I got to meet. He was cool. But first, I met a cosplayer who I thought was Sergeant Slaughter because I'm always wearing dark sunglasses at these things. So I'll mix up names of people and who people are. I'm trying to get better at that. So I was like, yeah,
Right.
guys, I'm like, Sergeant Slaughter wants to take a picture with us. Like, let's not keep this guy waiting. And I looked at the pictures later on, and he was like half the size of Sergeant Slaughter. He was like someone's dad. That was
Oh
Sergeant
no.
Slaughter. Yeah.
Oh no.
Give him the proper respect, though. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Got to at that point.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'll turn a whole stadium against you.
That's right. Yeah. A whole ice.
Oh man. But so I have one more question. So if there's anybody like say you weren't cosplaying as Macho Man, right?
Yeah.
There's if you weren't cosplaying as Macho Man, who would you cosplay?
Jake the Snake. Yeah.
Jake the Snake?
Yeah, I think Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake. I can do the mustache. His voice isn't too different from Macho Man. I always thought he was such an awesome killer promo. Um, and I thought about doing it for Comic Con the last day, just having the mustache and doing that.
I
Um,
mean, I could see it working because honestly, like I don't want to say it would be like kind of like fun and like an easy way to do, but like
yeah,
the 80s and 90s, like especially the 80s, that was a time where like everybody just yelled on the microphone.
except for him.
Yeah,
Yeah, except for
exactly.
him. Yep, yep. So it's remarkable. Also Jacobs, my last name. So like Jake the Snake. It always goes with that. I hate snakes. I think he did too.
No,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. So for Comic Con, I'm actually going one of the days as the '91 version of Macho Man that got bit by Jake the Snake.
Oh, all
Yeah.
right.
So I had a
Are you
buddy of
going
mine.
with the Jake the Snake?
Unfortunately, not yet
Damn.
at least. I'm always looking for a Mean Gene and a Jake the Snake, and obviously a Bam Bam Bigelow. Um, but I have a friend who I keep sending old T-shirt designs to, and he keeps like remaking them for me. So I was able to get that shirt. We're gonna cut it. My wife's gonna put the beads on it. So I'm pretty excited for that.
Nah, he should be, man.
My time to shine. Yeah, I'm just trying to get in Macho Man shape. I just love to eat and I love sweets. So
Dude,
gotta
dude, I'm
balance.
right there with you.
I hear you, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
only thing with me is it works in my favor. I get to keep the physique of the character. You know what I
you get
mean?
to float. Yeah, easy to float. Uh-huh. Slim
Yeah,
guy.
man.
Well,
Bam Bam Bigelow could probably float too.
if you ever start wrestling cosplay, it'll certainly keep you in shape because of people's horrible comments they make. I had to add so many words to my filter list on Instagram. It's crazy. I don't even think workouts in there anymore.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's brutal. But I try to just respond positively when they do leak through now, or I just say, "You may not like it, but accept it." Yeah,
Honestly, after you see it enough times and you
yeah.
say it must be like amusing.
I'd also love to cosplay as DDP.
Hmm.
I just prefer to be people that I look like. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I can see it.
Yeah, yeah, I could make that happen. Yeah, we're both, I'm a Jew from New York. He's a Jew from Jersey. We could make it happen.
Got to be the WCW one though. No
Yeah,
stalker
absolutely.
DVP.
And DDP yoga is amazing, man.
That I'm sure of.
Yeah.
Just no stalker DDP.
No, no, no.
None of that.
He's the stalker. Yeah.
None
The
of
thing
that.
with, I
None of
think what
that.
works with Macho Man is we have similar heritage. So I'm pretty sure he was like an Italian Polish Jew, and I'm very similar to that. So Italian, Polish, German Jew. Make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Was that DDP or is this just Macho Man?
That was Macho Man.
All
I
right.
can't do any other impression. If I do, it immediately turns into Macho Man. That's how much I've been doing this for a year and a half. And
Because
I
you're
don't
so
think I
probably
ever
because
did.
you're so used to it.
I'm so used to it. I was at work one day and I was like telling someone a story, and I think I was pretending to be the principal. He's cool. So I was with the principal, and I started doing Macho Man at his voice, and I'm like, oh, jeez, man. Or I'm like talking to my students, and I'm like explaining something. I'm doing the hand gestures, like, yeah, this is where, yeah, South America is on a map. Yeah, it's how you go to Rome.
Well, they'll probably remember now.
Yeah, Macho Man definitely leaks into my my job, my career, my life. My wife will talk to me sometimes, and I'll say, yeah, oh yeah, He'll be, yeah, you don't say, yeah.
You know, I've noticed that you'll talk normally,
Yeah.
but like you'll say like the oh yeah, uh-huh, kind of like you would for Macho Man.
I do. I want to make a video called "You're Not Macho Man." It's just I'm
But
leaking
like
into.
it, but like it's in your voice, but you say the yeah kind of the same way.
Yeah, and I don't have the best Macho Man impression. I'd love to meet Dan Soder and Jay Lethal and try to pick their brains. At this point, man, I do my best. I'm always trying to improve, and I try to make up with it with the hand gestures and the silliness and all that stuff. I
Yeah.
just crank up the silliness to like 100.
I feel bad because you're actually not the first Macho Man impersonator I've interviewed.
Really?
I interviewed one other before you who I also met from Mike.
Who, Keith?
And when Mike told me about you, it might have been him. I'm honestly not even 100% sure. But I remember he did the whole thing in character. Like me and
Oh
him were on
man.
Zoom for like almost an hour, and he did the entire thing in character. He talked about his wrestling career, how he got started as Macho Man.
Is that the one out in Vegas?
Might be.
Macho Man. I think his name's Mike.
Okay.
I've met a lot of them so far. There's a lot of them in Canada. That's half our group
Really?
chat. Yeah, I haven't met Macho Man. There's a
You'd
guy
think there'd
Keith.
be more Bret Hart ones in Canada.
I would think that. At 80s Con, I met this guy who I've been looking for a while because I see him in videos from like the wrestling collectible store. This guy looks like him, sounds like him. Movements are super slow. It's inspiring to want to do better at it.
You
We have a bunch
know,
of videos
you
together.
know who there should be more cosplays of now that I think about it.
Kenny Omega?
Well, yes,
Okay.
but I was thinking Edge.
Edge, yeah.
Edge and Christian. There's just so much you could do with that. Edge and Christian.
I got buddies, Chris Wayne and John looks at photos. They're going as Edge and Christian to meet.
Reeking of awesomeness, 5 second poses.
Amazing, dude.
Oh,
Those ladder
there's just so much you could do.
so much charisma. They were amazing.
Find a Kurt Angle, tell him how much he sucks.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, that's a
Oh
fun
my
one. I look
God.
forward to seeing all these at 90s Wrestling Con.
Classic.
I get 50 cents every time I say that. Not really, no money, they're not paying me. That would be a good one too. So now you got to think about who you're going to be.
I do.
So
Bam Bam is a pretty good suggestion.
Yeah, but
I'm
the
not gonna
Macho
lie.
Man idea is great. I've been
Something
trying.
that I have to shave my head for. That does sound kind of fun.
It works, and then you're
I'm
more
not.
aerodynamic when you go swimming. So everything, it's a win-win.
Yeah, right. That's
You look
true.
badass. The head
That's
tattoos.
I was gonna say get rid of this. Maybe hop in a race somewhere.
People think Macho Fest is a thing now. Also, from this video, I posted it on a whim. I edited it in 5 minutes at work. I posted it just to post something. It's got
Right.
1.4 million views, and people are like, "Oh my god, I gotta go to Macho Con," right? So my wife goes, "I heard there's a Macho Fest." I'm like, "What? Really? Like a convention?" She goes, "Yeah, someone at work told me about it." I look it up, couldn't find it. Hour later, she goes, "Oh, they just saw your video and thought that was it." So it would be a life goal to to have a Macho Con or a Macho Man Festival because he's the best.
Yeah, man, 100%. But definitely got to come to one of the cons, 100%. I do
Especially in
plan to.
Jersey.
It has been tough because of wedding stuff. I will
Yeah,
say
when you're
that.
that age, man, you get all the weddings.
So I don't have a lot of off days that I could just take anywhere I please right now. But
Wedding and swimming, yeah.
definitely something that I got to do at some point. But right now, I definitely want to say thank you for coming on, man. I appreciated talking to you, man.
John, it
100%.
was a pleasure meeting you. There's my virtual Mega Powers handshake. I hope to be in studio next time, man. Maybe
Yeah.
Dusty, myself, and Sheik can all get in there because they're Jersey
Yeah,
boys.
man. I
I
would
can
love
see
I
where
would
they're
love to
coming.
have you guys here. Mike lives a little bit closer, so it's a little bit easier
Does
to
he?
get him in here. But if you guys can make it down, I would love that.
Oh yeah, I'd love that as well. John, thanks for having me. If I could just plug a couple things.
Yeah, please.
Cool. Yeah, the Macho Verse on Instagram is what I mostly use. The Macho Verse. That is me. I will be this Saturday night on the 29th in New York City, the Village, pianos, bar. Yeah, Lit is playing. It's called Grunge is Lit. It's $11. Lit, it's no surprise to me. I am my own worst enemy. Yeah. That one. Playing with a couple of the bands. We're going to come out. The Legends and maybe the Bloodline cosplayers are going to be out there doing something special
Okay.
during the set around 10 o'clock for Big Trash music. And then 90s Wrestling Con, I will be there. Yeah, man, got questions? I got answers. Send me a DM. We'll work something out. And I'll also be Saturday, 2 p.m. Times Square. Subway Mania is happening. A little NWO thing going on. That's all I can tell you. Dig it. That's all I know.
Invading the subways in New York City. Aaron
keep
Macho
the
Man.
subway
All over. Definitely catch him. Follow him at the Machoverse. Like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're almost at 60 subscribers. Definitely check this show out and my other ones that have gone up throughout the year as well. John Brecko, Aaron Macho Man, the real savage, signing off.
Man, freak out. There we go.
Freak out. I'm going to snap it to a Slim Jim.